Hello everyone, Nikki for Christ Ward here. I'm finally telling my story about my pregnancy, how my baby died twice and was born almost 4 months early, and a very sensitive but serious topic. So if you're interested, please stay tuned.
You cannot get the flu from the flu shot. Like, the flu shot is not a live virus, it's a dead virus, blah blah
Blah yakety, whatever they be trying to tell you. But let me tell you, y'all, I got the flu shot so I could continue working and doing patient care, and I ended up being sick. Like, I want to say it was like maybe just a couple days later, like 3 or 4 days later, I ended up getting the flu for real. So here I am, I'm sick. I got fever, I'm coughing, like my cough was horrible. I had chills, body aches, like I was so sick. But at this moment, like being pregnant and having the flu was like horrible. So I called the Kaiser advice line basically and let them know, like, these are my symptoms, this is what's going on with me, and I'm pregnant, like I don't know what to do, like I'm sick, I'm coughing, like. And they were like, okay, well, you have to come in and see the doctor. So they assigned me this doctor, one of the doctors at the Kaiser hospital that I do not know, just a regular physician. I did not know who he was, but that was the advice that they gave me, to go to this doctor. I went to him and he did the swab and everything, checked me out, and he was like pretty sure that I had the flu. And then by the time I got home is when my test results came in. He called me and he was like,
congratulations, you have the flu, but you're pregnant, so I can't treat you.
Yes, he said that. I kid y'all not. Like, I'm not taking or adding anything to this story. Like, this is the true story. And I was just like, okay. And I was kind of explaining to him, like, I was feeling better. Like, the body aches had went away, the fever had went away. The only thing was just the cough. Like, I had this horrible cough. And we all know, like, when you have the flu, like, the cough is the last thing that goes. Like, a couple days had went by, and I woke up one morning, I still had this cough, and I think I coughed all night, just tossing and turning, coughing. And I woke up one morning, and y'all won't believe this, but my bed was wet. Okay, like the bed was wet, like my pajamas was wet, like. So I was like, I kind of for a minute I was like, did I pee in my bed? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, like I have never peed the bed. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I got up out the bed, took a shower, went throughout my day, and then I started. It was like trickling here and there, and in the trickle it was like blood again. Also, I noticed that, like, I had just, because I was like going on 6 months pregnant, so I had just started having that belly bump, and I was so proud of my little belly bump. And I realized that morning that it shrunk a little bit. It wasn't out as much as it was, and I didn't know. I mean, a part of me was like, maybe that's normal, maybe the baby shifted and moved or something, I don't know. But because of my water breaking, I actually ended up going to the Kaiser for the pregnant women. And I went there, and the doctor that I had, this old Caucasian guy. Okay, he was old. I feel like he should have retired a long time ago. He came in the room, y'all, putting gloves on, already talking about me like I'm being dramatic. Like,
girl, you're pregnant, you know, you're gonna have these symptoms, you're gonna feel like this, blah blah blah.
Like, oh yeah, and I started the cramping too also. So he was just like, oh, the cramping is normal, it's pregnancy, you know, growing pains, blah blah blah. Like, he was already talking before he even checked me out. Looked at me, checked me out, and he was like, yeah, you're fine, you know, you're gonna be okay, you're just pregnant. I was like, okay. And I felt stupid. Like, he talked about me so bad. Like, y'all, I'm not even kidding, I felt so dumb for even going in there in emergency. Okay, I felt dumb. And what happened was, it's like a certain way that I move, and like the amniotic fluid was leaking out. And then there was times, I guess, some way that I would sit or lay, and like nothing was coming out. But that moment in the ER, when I started to get up to put my clothes on, and I felt really dumb, and I'm getting dressed and putting my clothes on, some of the nurses came in, and I'm noticing that it's still like trickling a little bit. So I asked them, I'm like, well, what is, you know, if it's nothing going on and I'm fine, like, what is trickling out of me? Like, what is that? And they were like, oh, it could be urine, like, we don't know. Like, they were just, it was horrible. Okay, Kaiser was hard. My Kaiser experience with this pregnancy was horrible. I wish that I could express that more than I could than anything in the world. So I put on my clothes, y'all, and I leave out. And I was supposed to that day go get my hair braided. I had an appointment to go get my hair braided. So I go to my appointment to get my hair braided. And like during this time I'm getting my hair braided, like I'm soaking wet. Like I had to literally go get pads because like the amniotic fluid is leaking out, and I had to literally go get pads. And then I had to stop her from doing my hair. We had to take breaks so that I can go and like change this pad because it was soaking up pretty fast. My stomach went from like to a pot belly to literally flat, y'all. Like I'm not even kidding. When this situation was going on, like it was so depressing. Like it really was. It was so sad. And like I said, like I had no idea like what was going on with me. And that the doctor, I wish I could remember his name. He was just not compassionate at all. He was not trying to even take the time to explain. He was like in and out just like that. Like, oh, you're fine, I'm out. Like he was like, you're good, you're pregnant, I'm out. And I'm like, I already knew I was pregnant like 6 months ago, but it's fine. And so my cousin contacted my husband. My husband was like, nah girl, you're going back to the hospital, like something's wrong, something's not right. And I'm like telling all of them, like I'm not going, y'all can't make me go back to the hospital. Like I'm not going, because I literally felt dumb. Like I felt retarded, like for real. So he made me feel like I was just totally exaggerating about everything. So of course my husband got off work. He took me back to Kaiser, the emergency part where for pregnant women. They checked me out even more because I got on the scale, and just from me being there that morning and being there then, I lost like 10 pounds. Okay, I kid you not. Like I lost 10 pounds and it was all like amniotic fluid gone. Okay, so then from there, they're just like, oh my god, this is an emergency, like we can't handle this emergency, we're gonna have to send you to community hospital, basically by I got shipped to the ER to community via ambulance. So they did all these things which kind of helped keep my baby in for another week. And I was really praying. I was really talking to God and just praying that like my baby be healthy as long as possible. But I thank God that, you know, he came out the week after this transpired. And what happened was they kept poking me, they kept checking me at community. And so let me tell you what happened. So I started having cramps. Okay, like they had me on the monitor where they can tell that I was having contractions. I started having contractions, and really bad contractions. And so then they had to transfer me to the delivery floor. And I knew then that like they think they slick, like they not telling me, they think they slick, like they're expecting this baby to come. Having really bad cramps, like I was holding it in, like tears were streaming down my face. And they kept trying to come in and check me, and I was just like, no. And then there was a point when I had to go to the restroom. They helped me up to go use the bathroom, and it was just a lot of blood. And so I think that nurse went out and went and got her crew. Like, I don't know, but all I know is a whole bunch of people came in my room. By the time I had made it back in the bed, a bunch of people came to my room, and they were like, girl, we finna check you. We finna like, this is about to happen. So I was like, okay, I was in so much pain. Ever had a baby before? Like you had contractions, that's what I was doing, but I was faking it. I was like I was holding it in, but my husband knew, but I was just like, nobody touched me. Like that's how much pain that I was in. But I didn't want them to be like, your baby's coming out, because I knew it was way too early for him, and I didn't want him to come that early. So the nurse jumped in my bed, and she checked me to see if I was dilated or whatever. She literally jumped in the bed with me, had her hand in my vagina, okay, I kid you not, and she was just like, girl, your baby's foot is hanging out of your vagina. Like, she's like, I'm gonna have to stay here and hold him in so that he doesn't come out. So now the problem was he was coming out feet first instead of head first. He had breached, right? So then the crew went to go get whoever they needed to get. They were already like rolling me in the bed, like I was surgery place, and I'm like, I'm having surgery? Like what the heck? Like, no, I'm not trying to have surgery. Like I was scared to death, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, put me to sleep, put me to sleep. I remember begging them to put me to sleep, and they're like, yeah, but if we put you to sleep, your husband can't come in the room with you. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna be in there anyway. I'm gonna be asleep. Like, put me to sleep. I don't want to be awake where y'all slice me open. Like, I did not want to do that surgery. And I was just like, put me to sleep. They agreed to put me to sleep until they got me into the surgery room, and they put me on the bed, and they were trying to search for the baby's heartbeat, and they couldn't hear his heartbeat. They couldn't find his heartbeat. They gave me this shot in my back, like an epidural type thing. They paralyzed me, I guess. Like I felt paralyzed from the waist down, and so that they can start to do the C-section. So they had to cut my stomach open. And at the time, I remember them searching for the baby's heartbeat. And I remember looking, and they were trying to search, and I'm like, lady was still at the foot of my bed, I kid you not, with her hand in my china like this, and she was like, your baby is fine, I promise you, because I could feel his feet grabbing me like this, like she felt his foot moving. She was holding his foot in my vagina, like holding him in, like I kid you not. And if I know, I wish if ma'am, if you're watching this and you remember me, honestly, I appreciate you. Like, you really took one for the team, for you to sit there the whole time and hold that baby in. Like, for the whole team at Community, the doctor that did my surgery, like, I appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful, like forever grateful. My son is grateful. Like, he's lives a healthy life now because of you guys. You guys like really blessed, for real. Like, you blessed. She had her hand in my vagina, and she was telling me that he was okay because his foot was moving, and his foot kept grabbing her hand like this or whatever. So basically the doctor leaned in, and she told me, because I was hollering, I was crying, like, put me to sleep, like, y'all better knock me out because I ain't doing this unless I'm asleep. And she leaned over and she said, you know what, it's better for your baby, it's healthier for your baby if we just sedate you a little bit and do this surgery. We have to. And when she said that, and I was like, I'm gonna take one for this baby, like it's for my child. And when she said that, it's like, okay, I get it, I understood. When it comes to him already fighting for his life, I know that the harder, the more the sedation, the worse that it's going to be for this baby. She's right. And I thank God for her to took the time to like hold me. She hugged me and like whispered in my ear like that. So basically I had a C-section, y'all. They cut me like a T, so they cut me like across this way and down this way. Him out, and when they took him out, I wasn't able to see. They darted right out. I guess they had to resuscitate him. He wasn't breathing. I wasn't able to see him, and they didn't lay him on my chest like they would like they do when you regularly have a C-section. And I remember waiting for hours, me in this like recovery area. They told me that they were gonna bring him to me so that I could see him. And I hadn't been able to see him. Like, I wasn't even able to see him and to feel my baby. Like, he was literally like ripped from me from the moment that they cut him out. And I felt like hours had went by, and they rolled him in the incubator, and rolled him into with the incubator, and he was in this little thing. And I honestly, like, I could barely see him. He had like a CPAP mask on his head that kind of kept him with oxygen. They just rolled him by my bed. I couldn't even move, y'all. Like, my legs I wasn't able to, so I'm like paralyzed from the waist down because of the shot that they gave me prior to the procedure. They brought him in this incubator. He had this mask on his face, and then they rolled him out right away. So that particular day, I wasn't even able to see my baby or like bond with my baby at that time. I don't think that I was even able to actually see him until the next day. The next day, I was so determined to feel better from being cut open. My husband was able to stay with me, and he was able to push me in the wheelchair the first couple of days to go and see my baby in the NICU. So everything after that just started going, it started going well. We had a few bumps in the road where the hole in his heart. And his NICU is amazing. It was really great. They were really supportive and let me know what I was gonna expect. But from Community, all I had was good days from Community. I don't know, but I know there were a few people that let me know that they were praying even when I was in the hospital trying to keep him in. There were some people that prayed, and so I know that prayer changes things. I know it helps, it makes a difference. And so I just want to encourage someone. I promise you it's gonna be okay. Like, if your pregnancy is difficult, if you've had miscarriage in the past, because I've had miscarriages before, I've had high-risk pregnancies before, you can still have a good and a positive outcome. All you have to do is just pray and trust God. Even if it's a negative outcome, you still can have something good come out of it. But if you've had something similar, please feel free to reach out to me. Comment down below. Let me know your experience. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that other people may be able to relate or need to hear this encouraging story. Thank you so much.